Hey guys, it's Pastor Bruce. This November, Christine and I will celebrate our 20th wedding anniversary. I can't believe she's put up with me for that long, but I truly consider her my very best friend, and I would rather spend time with her than anybody else on this planet. God has truly blessed me with a wonderful wife. 1 Corinthians chapter 7 begins a section where Paul is answering questions from the church at Corinth, and the basic theme in this chapter is that of marriage. But Paul begins by telling them and us that it's okay to not be married. In fact, it may be preferable in Paul's mind because the unmarried person can put all of his or her focus and energies into serving the Lord. But if you're not going to be able to resist sin, then by all means get married. And if you do get married, you need to make sure that you do it right. You need to love and to submit to one another. In fact, he tells us here in verse 4 that the wife has authority over the husband's body and the husband over the wife's. For all intents and purposes, we're theirs, physically speaking. And lastly, you need to make marriage for life. And that's a real challenge in our world today, but I believe young couples need to make that commitment right up front, no matter what. We do it in the vows, but we need to do it in our hearts as well. Behind this marriage theme, though, there's a more basic concept that Paul is getting at, and that is that you need to stay where you are because it takes energy to change. And psychologists and counselors and others have told us that people experience more stress through change than at any other time in their lives. And so Paul says here in verse 24, "Brethren, let each one remain with God in that state in which he was called." He's saying, whatever you were when you were saved, stay there. Now, if you've already made a bunch of changes, you can't reverse those, so just don't worry about that. But he's saying that whether you're slave or free, married or single, avoid the distractions that come with change. Now that being said, you may have good reason. You may have to change jobs or relocate or those types of things. But the point for you and I is this. Consider the cost to your service to Christ before you make any change, and make sure that you're going to be able to handle that change and still serve your Lord and Savior Jesus Christ. God bless you as you go.